Well, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion for Avoya Travel. Here we are, February 1st. Wow, I mean, this train, it certainly has no brakes, right? It just keeps chugging along. Thank you for all the great responses to last week's special episode with Bob Sullivan, Chief Commercial Officer, President of North Star Travel Group. Wow, we really enjoyed that great conversation. Seems you did as well with such a top industry leader. We're excited for today's show as well because we've got a great one lined up for you. It's always great to interview someone. We get to have someone from the Avoya Network speak to us directly, one of our great affiliates today. We welcome back Penny Rushing, owner of 4 Points Travel, an independent agency in the Avoya Network. She's our featured guest today. She's also a returning guest for a good reason. She's the recipient of one of the top awards given to the Avoya Network, and we'll find out and fill you in all about that here in just a few minutes, plus a great question and answer segment with Penny and find out what's going on with her business and what her clients are thinking and all the fun places in the world she's getting a chance to travel to. We're also going to touch base on our ongoing military promotion, our new Host Week promotion. Host Week is going on from our friends over at Host Agency Reviews. The always amazing Avoya Travel Academy. It's been rebranded to that. It's doing great. We'll have an update there on of course, our best in class resources that should make you go, wow, this is something I want to be a part of. Because if you're really interested in a successful travel business, you want to partner with the best. And I'm here to tell you the number one host agency in the industry. We're real proud. It's right here, Avoya Travel. Thank you so much. So, of course, we'll make sure before we wrap up today that you have all the ways to get in touch and start that process. Okay, let's kick it off. This week's episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. It's always great to welcome back a returning guest with so much knowledge and someone who I have a great deal of respect and admiration for. Today's guest meets all of those qualifications, and I don't just say that because we're pseudo neighbors. So help me welcome back one of our great friends back to the show, Penny Rushing, owner of 4 Points Travel, an independent agency in the Avoya Network, to On Deck with Avoya. Penny, great to have you back for another chat.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Good. So Penny, before we get too far into this week's episode, maybe give me a quick rundown about you and your past and how you ended up as an owner in the Avoya Network and some of those fun details.
Well, I've been in the industry for 38 years. I started out in corporate travel, and then I worked my way into back office accounting. And when I got back into the industry, I did some groups and things. And when I decided to come back in and work full time, I started looking for a host agency and liked what I saw with Avoya, and that's how I became with Avoya.
Fantastic. So far, it seems to have worked out pretty good for both sides. So I always love when that synergy kind of matches up for a real win-win. At what point do you remember in life, Penny, where that travel bug just kind of set in, where you said, you know what, this is something that I need to be a part of. It needs to be part of my life? Actually,
right out of college. I decided I liked the industry. I started out working in hotels and decided, I think I want to adventure out more in the industry. So I got down and did the travel agent thing.
Cool. So I wanted to add my voice of congratulations on being named the 2023 Avoya Travel Flowerfly recipient, and certainly well-deserved. And for those that are unaware, the Flowerfly Award signifies an honor given to the Avoya Network member who best represents the integrity, professionalism, and character that defines the essence of the Avoya travel community. Penny, what were your thoughts when you found out that it was you're the agency receiving that prestigious award this year?
I was shocked. Did not think that was even a thought, and greatly honored that Avoya thinks that highly of what I'm doing to give me that award.
Do you find that some of the things that, like I mentioned, the reasons why, or what's behind the award, do those match up when you think of the things that you're proud about of your business?
Absolutely. I operate my business with honesty and integrity and professionalism. And as far as I am concerned, that's the only way to be.
Yeah, Avoya Travel. I mean, if you talk to any of us, that's really one of our key mantras, right? You run your business the way you see fit, as long as it's done with integrity and professionalism. and you certainly are at the very, very top level of that. So again, congratulations on that fantastic award. Hopefully it found a great place in your trophy case there at home.
I sure did. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate
Uh,
it.
so Penny, tell me a little bit about your agency and kind of what some of your specialties you focus on and how you think that being part of the Avoya network is just a good fit for your business as far as our resources lining up with your needs.
My specialties, I kind of run across the board. I'm narrowing down more to luxury travel now. But being in the industry as long as I have, I've got a little bit of a toe in all the different suppliers. I have ILAs, agents that work with me, who they have a lot of the same specialties and then different ones. So we kind of spread it out amongst the 4 Points Travel. I call it a family team, and so therefore we work together to get the clients what they need, and with the expertise of each individual agent.
Kind of works out nice, right? 4 points. I mean, all the different directions you can go in this crazy world, and to cover all of the bases kind of makes sense too. So it sounds like your agency can handle a client no matter what level they're at, and certainly grow with that client as they grow in their life as well, right?
You're correct. Yes.
Fantastic. Have you found that as you've grown as a travel professional, as a business owner, that the kind of clients that you're working with and the specialties you focus on, I guess you just said you're kind of moving more in the luxury direction. Tell me a little bit about how that works for you, and tell me a little bit about how you incorporate some of the Avoya resources in order to make that a successful transition as you make that happen.
So far, it's working very well. The live lead program that Avoya offers has helped me with that transition that I'm going into. Um, the clients are great. They're easy to deal with. Most of them are seasoned travelers. Um, they're experienced, so therefore they know what they want and what's out there. And to some extent, it makes my job a little bit easier.
But at the same time, I've got to assume, and I guess I'll just play devil's advocate for a second, that it also makes your job have a unique challenge, right? Because they're so knowledgeable, because they've been there and done that, you just can't get away with like painting with broad, pretty strokes on the paper, and they go, oh, that's what the water looks like, because they've been there, they've seen, and they've been to some of the most amazing places in the world already. So your knowledge has to be really top level, I would assume.
It does, and the good thing about them going to places that I haven't been or haven't had to work with, I'm learning from them. And I don't hesitate in telling them, I'm going to learn some things from you. And so that builds a good rapport and a good relationship with them.
Yeah, I think we might have touched on this maybe in a previous episode when we had you as a guest for On Deck with Avoya, just about how being genuine with your clients and kind of owning up to those kind of moments, it really is a great closing technique, even though if, it's not the intention behind it.
Absolutely. I think people in general appreciate someone who's honest and says, I haven't been there, but let me research it and I'll let you know what I find out and let's compare notes.
Absolutely. So, Penny, let me put you on the spot because normally people get a little shy when you ask them to brag about themselves. But in my mind, you're an amazing example of the best in the Avoya network. In your mind, what traits do you have that you think embodies you to help you be successful in our travel industry? What do you bring to the table that makes you unique?
I don't know if this makes me unique, but just like we discussed, building relationships with people. Early on in my training, I was advised to build relationships because people buy and work with people they know and like. Um, and just to be able to experience products and have that firsthand knowledge makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I read somewhere in some kind of sales book years ago that people make a decision whether or not you're the person that they're at least willing to consider buying something from really quick, like in the first 30 seconds that they're talking to you. So you have to be knowledgeable, but also kind of present it in a very instantly likable way, which I think is a really powerful 1-2 punch.
Exactly. And if you can, this is another thing that I learned in training. If you can figure out in a short time frame the type of personality the client on the other end of the phone has, then you know how to adjust a little bit your selling tactics to work toward their personalities and not just it's not cookie cutter.
Do you find, Penny, kind of put you on the spot, do you find though that there's a variety of ways that you can stay informed with the latest of information, the latest of techniques, both through the Avoya network and those that are offered internally to just our network, plus the relationships that you're able to have by being in the Avoya network?
Absolutely. I bounce ideas off of other colleagues as often as I can, because again, I think that's how we learn, and that's how we adjust the way we run our businesses to some extent, and how we communicate and work with clients.
We've always said that Avoya doesn't drive a competition component between those in the Avoya network. The concept of high tide does lift all boats, and I think that really speaks to that concept, that it really isn't a shark infested waters where it's you against the other affiliates. It really is an enriching environment where everybody kind of roots for each other's success, while also focusing on their own individual business too, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, Penny, if you had a piece of advice to offer those that are just getting into our industry that might give them a head start, what kind of information would you offer them that might give them that little extra boost out of the gate?
Acquire as much knowledge as you can through Avoya's training, through the suppliers training with the suppliers that you're selling. Whether that be in addition to Avoya, the suppliers training programs, we go back to what we just talked about. Reach out to colleagues, ask them questions. If you're stuck on something, can I get some help? And a lot of folks do that through Facebook, which is a great idea.
It is a great idea. And then, of course, there's been so many new opportunities, with the new regionals that are being offered by Avoya Travel. And of course, our national event that happens every year, the boot camps. There's lots of ways to get engaged. I mean, if you choose to get engaged, it is not hard to say, I wonder where that could happen, because we certainly give you plenty of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Penny Rushing, owner of 4 Points Travel, an independent agency in the Avoya network, is our featured guest this week for On Deck with Avoya. Penny, what are you hearing from clients right now, the start of 2024? I mean, are the phones ringing? Is the email sizzling? What's everybody's idea for personal travel coming up this year?
Yes and yes. Folks that I've talked to are busy. It's wave season, and they're very busy feeling the effects of wave season. People are excited to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you finding that excitement level is continuing? I mean, I think there was no doubt that when we were right in the middle of the pandemic, everybody couldn't wait to talk about, plan, and hopefully execute some kind of an adventure. Are you finding that here we are, maybe a good year past that, where that excitement level continues to bubble up?
I do. I have clients that have booked out into 25 and even into 26, the itineraries that are out for 26. And they're doing that because they're finding that the closer in trips that they want to do are either booked or they're almost booked. And if they are booked, then that's pushing them out to 25 and 26.
Is that a different sales technique, Penny? Again, you just said something that kind of prompted a question. But for you, is that a different sales technique when a client might be saying, hey, I want to look at 2024 and what they really want isn't there. And now you have to sell them on something that's like a full calendar year past that. How does that change your approach as a seasoned travel professional? Maybe another tip we can pass along to some of the people that are new.
Well, I talk to the clients and find out if they're flexible with their 24 date, because obviously it's not there and available. If they are, then we look at other options for 24. If not, then we look at the same or close to the same itinerary or trip that they may want for 25. And then they have to go to a plan B if they want to travel in 24.
Right, absolutely. Yep. I guess all you can do is really present the options and help them make a really informed decision.
Exactly.
What keeps you busy personally, Penny, these days when you get a chance to step away from the office? And anything Penny's doing for fun these days?
Travel. And just spending time with family and going to the beach. You mentioned that we live close. We live in the Tampa area, and so the beach is very accessible. So that's my unwind area.
Yeah, it's pretty special, no doubt about that. And what about great travel adventures? I was asking you before we came on camera if you had a chance to be part of the icon and all that excitement, and you're like, well, I could have been, but
Now, I was privileged to be able to sail on the new Regent Grandeur for the inaugural, and she is just a beautiful ship. I really enjoyed it.
what sets that kind of an experience apart when you get up into that kind of luxury destinations? I mean, what kind of makes that unique to the travel experiences that you've had a chance to be part of?
Just more the obvious. It's, the smaller ships, the more intimate surrounding, the attention to detail, the service level is different. I mean, you're talking about a totally different clientele. So all
Yeah.
those things factor into making them happy.
Is there one place in this crazy world of ours, Penny, that you think, you know what, everybody should see this at least one time in their lifetime?
I have two, New Zealand and Croatia. They're both New Zealand is amazing because it's got the mountains, has beaches, has sheep farms. Been there, done that, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful country. And then Croatia, kind of for different reasons. Um, it's got the beautiful water and just the relaxing, take it easy atmosphere.
What I like about Croatia, at least from what the history books and watch it on television tells me, is that because they've been influenced by so many different cultures over the years, there's that Greek influence, there's the Italian influence, there's other influences in the area, that it really is a melting pot of the best of that whole kind of Mediterranean area.
It is, and the people could not be any nicer and more welcoming of tourists.
What about places on your like bucket list, if you use that word? Some places that, you know what, I've got to get there before it's all said and done.
Australia, the Far East, Southeast Asia, and then Africa.
It's cool that you've had a chance, and I feel the same way. I've been very blessed in my life to see some amazing places. And yet the list of places that I want to go to is almost as long as the places that I have been to. And I feel pretty blessed by that. That once your eyes are open to how amazing the world is, how you just can't ever get enough. Would you agree?
I totally agree. That's why my list is even longer than I just shared with you.
Yeah, at least you're getting to check off some along the way. That's always a good thing, right? Making progress on that all important list. Penny, we've got just a couple more before we go today. I just wanted to give you a chance, so before we wrap up, to maybe offer any bits of advice that you might think is vital to share today, or something we haven't touched base about your agency or your relationship with Avoya Travel.
Mostly just what we've talked about. I think the key, and I keep going back to this, is just relationships with your clients. That's been the main reason for my success. And there are many times that we actually go meet our clients. We just met some in Port St. Lucie last week. They were down from Connecticut for 2 months, and I said, we're going to be in the area. You want to go have lunch? And so we do that quite often, and that way you get to meet them, obviously face to face, and put on my side of the fence, put a face with a name, and it binds that relationship a little bit more, and it takes it to a different level.
Again, pretty solid advice coming from a fantastic travel agent. So if you're out there and you're taking notes, I would underline that one and hit that one with the highlighter. All right, here we go, Penny. The big final question. We've asked you before, we'll ask you again. But looking out the windshield at all we have coming up and all that's going on in this crazy world, are you still excited about the future of leisure travel?
I am, and it's reassuring when I see the excitement coming from clients. So absolutely.
Perfect exclamation point on a great interview. Penny Rushing, everyone, owner of 4 Points Travel, an independent agency in the Avoya Network. Penny, thank you for your time. And again, congratulations on your very well-deserved Flowerfly Award and all of your fantastic success.
Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely my pleasure. Next week, another great episode. We welcome back the man, the myth, the legend, Senior Vice President of Sales for Avoya Travel, Steve Hershan. He joins us for his annual year in review. We're going to wrap up 2023. Hopefully, Steve's going to share some amazing numbers because there's amazing numbers to share. We'll get a progress report on both Avoya Travel and his thoughts on our industry partners, the industry at large, and of course, kind of get us pointed in the right direction so we can continue this amazing onslaught into 2024. That's next week at On Deck with Avoya. Quickly, want to touch base on a couple of promotions here, including our ongoing, actually our host agency, it's host week at Host Agency Reviews. I was part of that yesterday, was interviewed there, had some great insights, I think, to share. So might want to check that out. I think Annabella, our producer, is going to be able to drop a link into that here on our comment section. And we had a host agency promotion. It's Host Week 2024. And guess what? It's going to take $100 off the affiliation package for both the Pro or the Essential, and all the details at avoyanetwork.com. One of the things, though, that it's not going to do, but we still have it in other ways. So, if you're in the military family, you can kind of look at one or the other, whichever makes the most sense for you, is it doesn't cover the military promotion, so that's not combinable. But otherwise, we love our military family, right? We love that Avoya military discount. It does give $100 off to the packages in the Avoya network that are not already on special. So again, avoyanetwork.com, somebody from the Avoya Travel Academy, somebody from my team, happy to go over details of that promotion. Speaking of the Avoya Travel Academy, they're still going gangbusters. They've got their wave season sale going on. You can go the bottom end and kind of get in at $372. And I understand what money is, right? We've all been there. But again, if you want to think big, if you want to think kind of like the mindset of somebody like a Penny Rushing, you think those pro packages. And again, with that Host Week special, there's some amazing deals out there. Again, avoyanetwork.com will get you all the information that you need on that. And then once you're through with the travel agent education powered by Avoya, you're able to access all of the world-class, best-in-class resources like our Agent Power CRM, our live leads, the marketing assets available in the Avoya Marketing Resource Center are just absolutely mind-boggling. Not only the amount of them, but the ease of which you can deploy them and get that word out to your clients makes a big difference. As Penny said, sales are hot right now, and some of that is because of the great resources and the great relationships that Avoya Travel has that those in the Avoya network are able to piggyback off of. Hey, when you're out there on the social media, make sure you give us a like or a follow, would you? We've got our new Instagram account. We would love to see some new faces on that if you don't mind, but never miss a beat. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We're out there where all the cool kids hang out. And if you just want to go old-fashioned, you can just send me an email to chris.green@avoyatravel.com or pick up the phone, give me a call. Love those conversations. Certainly appreciate your time. Big thanks to Penny Rushing again for that great conversation. And again, congratulations on her Flowerfly Award, well-deserved. Thank you to Annabella for producing our segment again this week, doing a great job. Thank you for being part of On Deck with Avoya. We'll be back next week with Steve Hershan for his year in review. Until then, take care, my friend.